Once upon a time, I started telling my terrible dating stories on the internet.
And I said, girl, this needs to be a podcast.
And I said, okay, but how do I do that?
And I said, don't worry, I got you.
And I'm like, okay, what are we going to call it?
I know, it's rebrand pending.
Your hair is really pretty.
Thank you. This is
You're
3
welcome.
days strong.
So is mine actually, but it was straight when I did it, so it just stayed straight with the dry shampoo.
Fair. It does look good though. I like the style. Very librarian.
Over here? With a cutout shirt? And not even wearing glasses?
No, it was more a joke, but to our previous conversation.
Listen, have we given away all my stories yet? This is episode 2. God.
Yeah, put it in the podcast bank.
Yeah. Okay, I got a song to sing you. Ready? It's me. Hi, I'm the podcast host. It's me.
Yay.
Yeah. That's
I was trying to think of something to say back and then just sat here silent. I'm like, wait.
It's okay. I want to know more about you. And I want to share how similar we are. Because we know, but like dreamers and schemers, they don't know.
100%. Let's totally get into it. Hey guys, I'm Kristen. It's
Hi,
me.
Kristen.
Hi, I'm your other podcast host. It's me. What do you want to know? I don't even know like what to start with. I'm a multifaceted human.
It's true. Well, okay, so I know now that your business is called Vision Reality.
Opposite.
Reality Vision.
Reality Vision. Yep.
It's like new-ish for you, and it's similar to when I was a virtual assistant, like doing similar-ish things, but I know your background is very different, as is mine.
Very. Actually, yeah, that's what's pretty cool. Okay, so I'll go back. I'll stay pretty high level to like what kind of got me here.
Oh, I got it. Ready? I got a new song.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning. You didn't listen to Hilary Duff as a child.
No, I did, and that's what I was trying to be like, hey, wait, what is
Back
this?
to when the earth, the sun, the stars all aligned. I could go on, but the podcast is not about me singing.
Or is it? Is this a singing podcast now?
Heck, it could be. I'm gonna add that to my resume to tell you later.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been on my like long-term like vision board or like goals to do like singing lessons because I like to think I'm good at singing, especially when I'm by myself in the car, like some carpool karaoke. But I don't know if everybody would agree.
You know, Kristen, if only you knew someone who studied opera music in university who could help you with that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And if only you knew somebody who studied architecture who could design said opera layout. Just kidding. It's like where are operas like done. Okay. Do you know Paris and Nicole from The Simple Life?
Obviously, yes.
Okay, good. Did you see that they had a comeback on Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Okay, so you
and
know
they
that
made the opera singer go, Sana, Sana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, forever. I'm just gonna remember that when anybody mentions opera. It's gonna be Paris and Nicole now.
Honestly, well, most operas are not in English, so like you would never know if they're saying the right words anyway, if you weren't very familiar with the opera.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's a fun fact.
Yeah. Unless you're like fluent Italian or German or French.
Plot twist. All the above, actually. Kidding. Totally kidding. Okay, so going back to the beginning. So I used to want to be an architect growing up. So
Why?
I studied art. Why?
Yeah.
It was more like, I don't know, actually. I just like naturally was into like rearranging the furniture in my room. Like I would literally like have a piece of paper and like sketch out like, okay, this is where like I'm putting all my things. And then that just like led to like, I'm gonna say since like grade 1, I'd like tell everybody like, I'm gonna be an architect. And then so I actually got into high school and then I took the like really hard classes for math and science, I think, functions, advanced functions, and calculus. And then one day the guidance counselor burst my bubble and said, listen, bitch, you don't have the grades or the money to go to university to be an architect, so how about we look at college? And then I was like, okay. So it actually ended up being a blessing in disguise. At the time I was like a little bit disappointed, but I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. So I went to school for architectural technology in college. And so I did that in London because I wanted to move far away from my hometown. So I was like, adios amigos, I'm off to London, which was like actually awesome. I wasn't on a very good like path in high school and the people I was hanging out with. So like fresh new city, fresh new like people, friends, everything was really, really good for me. And then I ended up doing my co-op in Ottawa, which is what led me here because I was like, love the city. I'm in love with Ottawa. I don't think I'll ever leave. And then I worked at an architecture firm. So at first I was like, okay, my dream of being an architect is still alive and real.
Yeah.
Because you can do what's called the syllabus program, and it takes 8 to 12 years to get through it, and you can become an architect without going to like university technically. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. Like, I never actually got as far as like signing up. So I started working there and I was like, oh my, this is not what I expected. So one day I had someone email me that I had previously met and they're like, hey, we're hiring for project management. So I was like, oh, okay, let's do that. I had done a co op in project management before. So, anyways, long story short, that led me into working for almost 9 years as a project manager. So, most of my career. And then I got to a point where I no longer wanted to like be promoted to the next role. So like over those 9 years, like I started an entry level role and like worked my way up. And I like having like a goal and something to work for. Like I'm moving forward and like chasing that next thing. But then when I was like, you know what, I actually don't want that next role, which was to become a director, I started to like reevaluate, like, okay, maybe like it's time to like pivot or go on a new path. So that's when I started like broadening my horizons, and actually it was during COVID. So I was trying out different things. So I started I don't know, just like learning like random things. It led me to like starting to post on social media, but I had like an anonymous account because I was like very nervous about people seeing me post. So I just created a brand new account, posted to like random people, and then eventually I started a podcast, and I did that for about a year. And then that led me to like, it's funny when you're like, let's make a podcast, but you don't realize what goes along with that. Like,
Yeah.
actually, like, audio and video and all of that. So pretty much I just learned it from the ground up, like just Googling, and learned how to do all the editing and like cutting it into clips for social media. And I was like, ooh, okay, I actually like the editing side of things. So then I've always kind of had like a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit. Like I've never just worked like one job. I've always had like multiple jobs, and even when working full time, I'd have like a side hustle and do like hourly stuff for people, and always. So anyway, what was I getting to with that?
I don't know. Probably fuck vision, reality, reality, vision.
Yeah, well, so eventually I was working like a little side hustle with kind of a small startup doing project management for land developers. And that kind of got me in that space, hanging out more with like business owners and entrepreneurs. That kind of fizzled out, and then I was kind of on the hunt again with like, okay, what am I going to do? My co-host decided to go another direction, so I just went on hiatus with the podcast, which was fine. So anyways, I kind of like went through like I don't want to say like soul searching because that's a lot like deeper than it is. It's not quite that far. But have you ever heard of Ikigai?
Only the last time you asked me this and I said no.
Okay. So essentially it's like if you can picture like four quadrants.
Oh,
It's
yes.
like
Yeah.
what you're good at, what you can get paid doing, what the world needs,
And what you need?
what you're good at, what you enjoy being, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. So you kind of find something that's like somewhat the balance of all of it. And I forget what it stands for, like Ikigai. It's Japanese, but something for like purpose or like fulfilling. So, anyways, I was kind of on like the hunt of like, okay, what's the closest thing I can get to that? So I started observing like different things I was just like naturally doing, and also trying to go back to like I don't know, this sounds kind of like corny or cliche, but like who was I before like the world told me who to be? Do you know what I mean? So kind of
Yes.
thinking back to like, okay, when I was a child, pre-technology, like what were the things that I enjoyed doing just naturally? So it brought me back to like the floor plans I was making and like stuff like that. So I was like, okay, like I do still really love design, even though I don't necessarily want to be an architect anymore. And I really love editing and I love the podcast and I love project management. Like, okay, how can I bring that all together? So I ended up going on a house tour just by fluke. There was a really beautiful, like multi-million dollar house for sale by one of my friends, and they're like, let's go take a tour. So I was like, okay. And I just remember like after going on the house tour reflecting on how I felt, and I was like, wait a second, okay, that felt really good. So if I'm not the designer or the project manager, like how could I still channel like that feeling? And that's what led me to real estate photography, because I was like, okay, if someone would literally pay me to walk around beautiful houses and like showcase how beautiful they are, that sounds like an absolute dream come true.
Yeah.
So that's what led me there. So then I went on the mission of, okay, now I need a good camera. Okay, what editing software do I need for this? And then I just started doing it for free, like testing it out and like being like proof of concept, like, okay, is this something
Yes.
I enjoy? Is this something I can get paid for? Do people need it? Like I kind of went through all of that, and turns out yes to all the above. And that's how Reality Vision was born. And the
Mm.
idea was bringing your vision to a reality. In the long term, I would love to have design, like 3D design, as being a function of the business, but we're not there yet. So right now I'm focused on photography, videography, and also content creation.
Yeah.
So content creation kind of naturally came into the picture because the world needed it. It wasn't
Yeah.
something I went out searching for, but once I started working with like realtors and contractors, they were like, okay, good that you can do photos and videos of my properties and projects, but I also need social media. So I was like, okay, well, I can do that as well. No problem. Turns out I actually really enjoy it as well. So, that's kind of what's brought me to here. It's been really fulfilling and really like, I feel like I'm like, I don't know, like like 2024 was like the like opening of Reality Vision, getting my first like 10 clients, working through projects and really honing my services. And now I feel like 2025 is like, okay, now let's really build the backbone, the structure of the building, start outsourcing some services and building a team and like leveling it up, taking it to the next level.
And that is another similarity we have. Last year, within the last two, not last year, not in 2024, in 2023, I actually worked on a real estate team, and my title was marketing manager. So I didn't. So there was we used a photographer, but all the stuff came to me, and then I was creating the marketing materials from that.
Very cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see you being really good at it because your creativity is like on point, which I'm so excited about for our podcast together. Because why are you laughing?
Because
What?
I am equal parts confident and delusional, and I just come together, and then that's what comes out. But people love
That
it.
is the perfect, yeah, that's the perfect recipe. I remember reading something, I feel like I'm gonna butcher it, but it was like being an entrepreneur is being delusional enough that you can do it, but also like smart enough to actually like make it happen. And I'm like,
Ah,
so true. Because that's the thing about like, I feel like it's hard for a lot of people to even envision like starting a company and being an entrepreneur. But for
yeah.
me, being a project manager, I'm like, if I can manage a project, I can manage a business. And
Mhm.
that's what made me like so delusional that like, no, it's not a big deal. I'll just start a business. I'll just do it. I'll just figure it out, because
Yeah.
that's literally what project management is.
Right. Right. We'll talk about this more. We're going to talk about manifesting in a future episode. But I have this like profound belief that whatever I do, I'm going to be fine and it's going to work out. And so when I
Yes.
started as an entrepreneur, like literally, I tell you, Kristen, I was moved from the Valley to Ottawa, quit my job, didn't know what I was going to do, saw a TikTok that convinced me I should be a virtual assistant. And I was like, sounds good to me. And I
Oh
had
my God.
skills that I had taught myself during the pandemic And so like in the Ottawa Valley, like I really like during COVID became like almost a local celebrity just by making dumb TikTok and Instagram videos. And I was like, well, if I could do it for this, I could do it for other people too. And then
You could
within,
literally do it for anything, like
right,
all transferable skills.
right. And then within a week of living in this house, I had 3 clients. And I was
Amazing.
like, that was easy. I was like, okay. But fast forward to more recently, like just I think with the economy and things, it just different, all these different things that play, right? For small businesses and entrepreneurs to outsource things is that's one of the places where they cut back. So like one by one, like within the span of 6 months, I went from being not overbooked, but like fully booked and turning work down to people saying like, I'm really sorry, but like I need to cancel our contract. And of course I'm like, absolutely, you need to feed your family and yourself. I'll figure something out. Excuse me. And turns out like for me at that time, being like full entrepreneur was like not, I don't think it was the best thing for my nervous system actually. Like I think there's too many things fluctuating. So now I have, actually it's really funny. So my position as like executive assistant or whatever, but doing a lot of these social media marketing admin type jobs, my position was terminated. So I had a part-time position. And then with my other private clients, I was terminated. And then like almost 1 month later to the day, I got hired where I work now at Tea and Toast, where I do a lot of the same functions, but it's 9 to 5. It's very stable. It's very like reliable income. And then anything extra is just like, I really get to choose what I want to do, which I enjoy more than maybe saying yes to people that weren't a good fit for either of us, to be quite honest. Not just they weren't a good fit for me, but like we just didn't.
Yeah.
Both of us were not a good match.
I totally get that because there's one thing when you're like, okay, I literally just need to pay the bills, so you want to say yes to everything because
Yeah.
you need the income. But then having a stable 9 to 5 job allows you the flexibility into both time and money to then choose the projects that you work on, which I think is really cool. And also, like, maybe just to clarify, like, I am not yet, I know you know, but just for the listeners, like, I'm
Oh,
not full-time entrepreneur yet. That's definitely my goal in the future, but
yeah.
also I don't want to rush it. Like you said, like, about the economy and everything, I mean, I'm definitely a person of living in abundance. Like I believe there's,
Yes.
enough to go around. What's meant to be will be. But for right now, I'm the same stable 9 to 5 job and then running a business on top of that. And that's what's fulfilling for me. Like sure my calendar is like booked up, but it's stuff that I enjoy. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to like finish my 9 to 5 and sit on the couch and just like watch TV. Like honestly,
Yeah.
I would rather be having conversations like this or planning a really fun photo shoot or project. Like that's what lights me up, and I would do that whether I was getting paid for it or not. Like I need to do something fulfilling outside of work. So
Yeah.
it
Agree.
all works out.
Agree. Yeah. And even like what is the difference if I'm scrolling on my iPad consuming content or like typing stuff over top of a video and producing content, right?
Literally, and that's exactly like what I told myself is like, yeah, I could be a consumer or a producer, and I would rather be a producer. And
Yeah.
hey, I love looking at like Instagram reels and TikToks just as much as the next person, but I just like
Right.
look at it through a different lens now. I'm like, it's research. Like sure I enjoy it, but like also like I see a nice like new trending audio. Okay, well I'm saving it for either myself or one of my clients or now for the podcast. And it gives me a different reason to look at all the social media videos, and it's so much more enjoyable when there's a bit of meaning. I'm not like necessarily just aimlessly scrolling.
You know what I love to do? I love to look at all of my own old videos because I'm hilarious.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that.
I'm like, let's go back a few years to when like this stuff was really good.
It's so funny because it's like you were kind of a different person then. So it's like, yeah, now
Yeah.
looking back at it, it's almost like you're watching somebody else, but you're like, who's that fine piece of ass?
Yeah, or I go to videos, like I've had videos that have like millions of views in the past, right? And to try and figure out like how has social media gone from that to what it is now? How did that work? Was it a fluke? Probably. Like what did I get out of it? Like so on TikTok, I took some videos of snowplows because, fun fact, I'm fascinated by snowplows. I think they're beautifully synchronized, how they clear snow from the highway. And maybe it's because I have 3 brothers. like snowplows, trains, airplanes, love it all. Okay. So I took a video of like a snowplow literally outside here. And then the next morning I woke up and I was like, oh, fuck, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of notifications. Like, that's a lot of people. And Narcity Canada is like, can we share your stuff? And I was like, sure. Oh, I mean, I don't know the stats on it, but like so many, and this is not the only video like this. And not to say like I'm an influencer, but like, I don't know what happened. Lots of, even to this day, especially because it's winter now, people are liking my fucking snowplow video and following me for it. But here's the thing. Do I post? Are the people who like the snowplow video also going to connect with the Ho Ho No series? Probably not. Okay. And let me tell you, the Ho Ho No to me is so much more of a success because every time I would post a video, someone would like reach out, message me, call me, or comment about, you know, how it just like hit something for them, or it was so relatable, or even just like, I really enjoy all your stories. Please keep sharing. Like, it just, for something I almost didn't do, it turned out so much better. And that those kinds of interactions are way more important to me than like 3 million people seeing the stupid snowplow video.
100%. And like, yeah, the engagement is a lot more meaningful than just seeing views.
Even if
and,
it's
like,
not,
sure, it's cool seeing that number, but it's not like fulfilling because then you're like, there's no point in chasing the views. It's literally just a number. Whereas like the engagement, like these are lasting connections with people and like ongoing conversations that you can have.
And much bigger conversations like safety for women or like sexual assault, or like there's so many other more important things to talk about in the context of Ho Ho Knows than like me taking a video of snowplows and just finding another audio. And I think she goes, you think you're the coolest car in the parking lot, and then this guy shows up, and then it has like some like, I don't know, some kind of rock music, and then people are commenting like, your voice is so annoying, and I'm like, it's not my voice. But thanks. God, fuck off.
Internet trolls strike again.
I know. Oh, I had another video. It was on TikTok where, I don't know, it was the one where it was like a filter, but you activate it by like nodding your head, and then it would like do something. I forget what, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it to like activate the filter. And so I just have a video of me doing this and then finally getting it at the end. And then I put like, this is what happens when a millennial tries to do a trend. And people got those comments were really funny. Like,
oh my God.
Like, you're supposed to nod, not headbang. I was like, touche.
And for those that aren't watching this on video, you're missing out. Go check us out on YouTube because that was hilarious.
Yeah, I'll have to pull it up and show you. I'll send it to you. But it's so funny. So like those kind of trolls, no problem.
I feel like we need to do a repost of some of these videos just for context.
Probably. Yeah, put it in the notes somewhere. Typing.
Yeah, like I'm on it. It's my project manager brain, like taking meeting minutes, but for a podcast. Does it matter that it's recorded? No. Okay, so I gave the whole lore on my life. Why don't we go back a little and unpack your lore? This story. What got you here?
Oh God. Like, I like to say that like I have lived so many lives in 35 years. It's wild, actually. So like I said, I studied music and anthropology. I have a double major. And when I was, don't make that face.
Did you see my... Well, I'm trying to connect the two. They seem like opposites. How do they align in any way?
They don't really. There is ethnomusicology, is the study of music in different cultures. Okay, that's very niche. All right. But when I was in high school, the guidance counselors literally said, get any degree you want and you can get any job you want. And I said,
wow.
I know things...
Can we go back and find
totally different from your guidance counselor's advice. Like when you're like, my guidance counselor was like, I don't have the grades in math to get into university. I was about to fail calculus, okay? I don't know what business I thought I had taking AP calculus at all in grade 12, at all. Today to do math, I asked Google, like while I was on the phone with a client. I don't want to say her name, she interrupts me a lot. But like, I just don't... Like, why? I know the concepts of like parabolas. Could I make one? No. With numbers? No. So
fun fact about math. we used the Pythagorean theorem, my husband and I, this past summer to make our garden. It makes a right angle. And we used it out on the lawn to make our garden when we were cutting in the ground. So it turns out you can use the Pythagorean theorem in real life.
But that's trigonometry, not calculus. Pretty
I
sure.
mean, valid, but
Right?
it's just a hot take that we learn a lot of math stuff we don't use, and I used it at least once.
What that is wonderful for you. Sometimes I think about using it and then I ask ChatGPT to help me.
That is so valid. The amount of time I spent just today on ChatGPT talking about all of life's biggest problems is like low key alarming.
Yeah. So anyway, so I go into university, I take whatever I want. I have a double major in these obscure things and what planning to be a performing opera singer. Not at that time I wasn't. Was I planning to study cultural anthropology? Not at that time I wasn't. I get out of university 4 years later and I'm applying for jobs and people go, what the heck is anthropology?
And you're like, what do you mean? I
like,
can get any job I want.
Yeah, turns out no. So that really, like, my credentials from university really didn't get me anywhere. So, but I was working in retail this whole time. So I very quickly got into retail management, which was fine, except for the hours suck and the pay sucked. And I felt like I had no other option. Excuse me. But I did end up working when I moved to the Valley. I worked at Michael's and I was a custom framing manager. And for me, like it was creative because you're designing things. And it was like also creative because I was physically building these photo frames. Okay.
Yeah.
But then there was like the business side too. And like the managerial side, like I'm an Aries, I'm bossy, it works out great. Like it's a good fit for me. And then I went to Africa and it changed my whole life. So yeah, I went with the United Church of Canada. They're sending people to visit a girls' school there. It's the oldest girls' school in Zambia, and they have a partnership, United Church of Zambia, United Church of Canada. So they were doing a relationship building trip. And honestly, when someone is like, hey, do you want to go blank anywhere? I'm like, yeah. So I went. And what I realized was like, I don't love what I do, but I do love this kind of work. So how could I do that at home? And so I went back. So I quit my job and I went to college for social service worker.
Okay.
And so I worked in social services for like a few years with children under 4 and their parents. And that was lovely. I loved it. And then just like the government changed and then contracts didn't get renewed. And I wasn't a permanent, like I was a temporary worker. So I had a new contract every year. I wasn't a permanent employee. So one September, they just didn't offer me a new contract. And I ended up working at the floral shop for, I get like 4 years, I think. And then I moved here.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the floral shop and your like intro to social media there? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but didn't fully connect it.
Yeah, so it really like almost happened by accident in the pandemic. Like it really, I know during the pandemic, like a lot of people had this wonderful like months long of break. We did not have that. We are one of like the few industries that were allowed to keep working and were considered essential, and no one could visit each other. So flowers actually got really busy.
Well, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Kristen, the first Mother's Day of the pandemic, I have never made so many flower arrangements in my entire life. I have never like actual chaos. Like I'm just like designing in the back, and then we had like, I call them my helpers, but we had employees and they would like take the thing and just put a new vase and I could just keep going. And then every once in a while they'd be like, have some water. I got you some juice. So I remember I had 4 drinks like in my workstation. I had water, I had juice, I had champagne. And I think I had like a soda.
The essentials.
Yeah. We don't need food. We just need liquids. And like we
girl dinner, girl lunch, girl breakfast,
basically. Yeah, this is survival at this point. Yeah, never seen so many flowers in my entire life. It was literal bonkers. They would like be on the phone with people and they'd run around the corner and hold something up. They'd be like, "Can I sell this for $60?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, just put a bow on it. It's fine." Which like we weren't scamming people. Like they were worth money, but they were just like, "What can I sell?"
Oh my
God.
Very
yeah, it was
crazy.
Crazy. So that's like a side of that. So during the pandemic, one of the only ways that people could like really build community was online, and that's how TikTok got so popular, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what I did was I started making like TikToks and Instagram reels for myself, but also for the flower store. And then it just became this thing. Like people would say to me, I saw some of your reels the other day. And I can tell because when the same person goes through and likes like five things of
Yeah.
yours, I'm like, you're welcome. You just had a good time laughing for an hour. She like one girl was like, I have seen your stuff before. I didn't connect that it was even you. One other business owner was like, "Hey Hazel, you're like really like a micro influencer. Like I don't even care what you're selling, but I'll buy it." And I was like, "Okay."
Wow, what a
Yeah,
compliment.
I know. And then even so I did in wedding seasons, I did these fun videos, especially if I had multiple weddings in one weekend, that I would pretend to walk down the aisle with three wedding bouquets, and I would just ask, which one do you like, one, two, or three? And I remember it was very controversial because everyone has a different taste in flowers. Everyone,
Yeah, fair.
okay? And it's not that like if someone gave me classic red roses, Kristen, I would say thank you, but would I be wowed? No. But some people
Fair
really
enough.
love their roses, right? So,
Yeah, valid.
so
There's a flower for everyone.
there is. Please, boys, just ask me what mine are before you buy any. Okay?
Yeah. And for
Yeah.
me, I prefer plants because they last longer
There we go.
before I
Husband,
kill
listen
them.
up. Yeah.
Oh, he knows.
So I remember very clearly I made this one video and it was bouquet one, two, or three. And I only had two weddings that weekend. And bouquet number three, literally, I grabbed a handful of flowers that looked good, but like I didn't finish the bouquet. Like I didn't cut them because I was putting the flowers back in the cooler. I wasn't using them. It was fake. Okay. And people were so offended that my stems were too long and they were all different lengths and it looked like such a mess. And I was like, why do you care so much?
They were invested.
The question was one, two, or three. Okay. But you know what, Kristen? I want to say like within the next 2 weeks, someone called the store and she goes, hello, I'm getting married this summer and I would like bouquet number three.
There you go. Oh
And
my God.
that is one of my most successful, like to me, way more meaningful than like however many million people or hundreds of thousands of people like seeing or hearting something.
Yeah. Someone straight up walked in and was like, love your taste. This is exactly what I need. Make it for me now.
Yeah, I'll take bouquet number three, please. And I knew exactly the one because it was the one that mostly everyone hated. Like, dear, you need to cut. I'm like, I know I need to cut them. And I actually know.
Yeah. Hi, I'm a
I'm
professional
actually a
person. Thank
professional.
you.
Yeah,
Noted. Thank you.
yeah. So interesting
Mansplained to
though.
me how to do my job.
Lord, tell me. Yeah. But interesting, like when I'm so that was during the pandemic ish, right? So now things have definitely changed on social media. Like the algorithms have changed. Not that I really care about algorithms. Like that's a hot take of mine in my business. I'm like, we don't care about the algorithm at all. We're not trying to please the algorithm. We're trying to please like the client's audience.
Yep. I can get behind that.
Yeah. So just yeah, things have changed. Where was I going with this? It's almost like I was so like so many good things happened to me and I have such good stories from social media from living in the valley. Moving to the city though is there's a big difference. It's almost like starting over. Like you're smaller fish, bigger pond, but I also don't care as much anymore. I have a lot of other things on my plate. So, but ho ho no, great success led to a podcast and here we are.
Yeah, definitely a success.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a success. I love that. All right, well,
Yeah.
I think that's a pod, a little taste of what's to come. So, our goal is to be posting every week.
Yeah.
We're going to cover dating, i.e., ho ho no, and
Yeah.
Hazel's future
And
adventures
Kristen's future,
Not with dating.
not with dating, unless there's something you want to tell me.
Not yet. No. Hey, we go on dates sometimes, so maybe
That's so
maybe
cute.
there'll be something to report back. Work, good stories, bad stories, funny stories. We're going to talk a lot about future goals and plans. Hazel mentioned we'll be having an episode on manifesting. We're going to talk vision boards, and we have a really exciting guest planned.
Yeah.
And then just miscellaneous. There'll be some spicy hot tea that comes up throughout the weeks, and we'll be looking forward to come to the podcast and spill it all with you guys and keep you in the loop. Air our dirty laundry online for everyone to enjoy.
Of course.
That's what the internet's for.
Confident and delusional.
Alrighty. Well, that's a pod. I hope everyone has a great day.
Me too.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.